Found Akke, a friend from a long time ago. My claim to fame is I knew him before he was famous. Back then we were all it was difficult for news Dota 1, people didn't want to read about it. Obviously it's very, very different now. We're in a stadium. You played here last year, I think, right? So what's your feeling this time around?
It just feels good. I really enjoyed the stadium here, the whole arena, and how it's like the whole backstage and everything. So it's really fun to be able to be back here to play, even though it's only 2 games.
Oh yeah, okay, so it's true, only 2 games. So I talked to Bulldog. He said you guys plan to stay together and maybe have a break or something. So Bulldog obviously had a longer break near the Christmas period. You haven't. Has this been a sort of a frustrating year for you, or are you kind of hoping that you can start again? I mean, or because you had lots of stand-ins, I think that was a big problem in sort of December time. Was that the most difficult period of this year?
It was for sure. Like the time there, it was very hard. To just play all these games where you kind of knew that we were gonna lose because we didn't have a team, so we just took people to fill out the slots or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, during that time was very hard because for me, knowing that the fans are watching to trying they really want us to win. So I think that was the most hard, the hardest thing for me, to feel that I'm failing the fans, you know.
But I think one thing you did was quite nice is that Chessie had a back problem and you actually continued and you kept. I think other teams who maybe weren't Alliance would have just replaced him. So I think you stood by him. So he's obviously gone on to be a commentator. So was it difficult to stick with him, and was that a difficult decision to make because obviously your results are failing, but at the same time he's sort of obviously in a bad place?
The thing with Chessie was that we did actually play good when he was playing with us. We went to China and we finished 3rd. And
you could have finished 2nd because you had to finish 1 game rushed.
Yeah. Felt we could have won the tournament, but he was having a lot of problems. So while we were playing, he took his hand from the mouse, to stretch his back and blah blah blah. So he actually, missed it to blink because he had a lot of back problems. So it wasn't his fault or anything, but it was just hard because we really wanted to play with him. He was really, really good and he fit very well in our team. But then he just had to stop. And the thing when he had to quit playing, that is where everything started to go wrong. Because back then we did really have a good team. Me and Misery was playing good together, and I really liked to play with him. Bulldog was there as well. But then we didn't really get a mid player that really fitted our play style. And then Bulldog left because he was annoyed because everything was going bad, and from that point we couldn't really get the team together, and then we were too late, to perform before TI to get an invite, and then, it's been a very hard year. So I really hope that after this small break we're gonna have now, small, it's gonna be 1 or 2 months, I guess, but that we're gonna be able to get a team that really works. And
do you think if the majors are obviously coming, do you think that gives you a bit more hope? But then there's another chance to prove yourself very quickly? Because otherwise you might have to wait a whole year. So are you really looking forward to the majors? Is that when you're hoping that Alliance can get back into it, maybe October time, yeah?
I really think the majors is good. I really enjoy, or not enjoy, but I really like the system that they are putting in there. But I don't think we should stress too much, to go there, we're going to win the tournament to prove that Alliance is back or anything. But it's just a good way for Valve to not have all the focus on one tournament, because I think it's quite bad, because before, during tier 3, where the prize money in the other tournaments were quite low as well, you could win 20 tournaments but still make 10% out of TI or something. So having all the pressure on one tournament, it's not good. So I really think that Valve is doing a great job by putting out these majors to just split up the I don't know, just split out the big games or whatever.
So you would never imagine a scenario where you and Loda weren't on the same team? I mean, in the old days you were CLG, right? And you were CLG and he was Team Zenith or something. So that would never happen again, right?
Well, I mean, I can't say it would never happen again, but I can say that Loda is the one that I enjoy playing with the most. But then again, no one knows what's going to happen. But we don't have any plans to not play together. But I mean, before that, we didn't play in the same team in Dota 1 for so long and stuff. So I'm really happy that we've been sticking together now, and I think it's like it like always works good when we're playing, because we have a really good mindset when we're playing together. We always try to help the like other guy in like standing of like flaming or saying, oh, but how the fuck can you just go and die there? We're always trying to make the best out of it, and that's something that sometimes I miss in like some other players that we've been playing with over the years, that they don't try to get better, just try to blame people. So.
But that's sort of the Alliance mindset, isn't it? I mean, the players who generally succeed in Alliance, so normally there's a certain kind of character. It's just, I don't know why it happened that way, but there are certain players that are just more... So it's like, is that character is also important when you're trying to find someone, not just about skill, right?
Yeah, it is for sure.
I remember a long time ago I read that the money from TI, you invested in something, a company. Is that so? So what have you invested what have you done with any money? I mean, do you have any other side projects that not Dota 2 related?
Not really. Well, I do have some side projects, but I'm very bad at finishing my projects. Like I made a like Dota 2 app where it's like a quiz.
You made it by yourself?
Yeah, I made it, but it was almost done like 2 years ago. But then it was a couple of things that I couldn't finish, and then I started to work on it a bit again, and then in the end I wasn't really satisfied with the whole product, so I never released it. I still have it on my phone because I can, use it, but I never released it. But then I have some other things that I really like to be busy with other stuff as well. Yeah. Even though I like play a lot, I like try to think about stuff that I can do and stuff. But
can you give us some examples of like other stuff you do?
Without going in too deep on everything, I've been writing a book.
Oh wow!
Well, it's like how the life is when you're like growing up and playing games, and it's a lot about like how my experience has been from when I was like young, like 3, how my parents treated it and how I treated it when I grew up in school, when I started to play competitive.
SK Gaming.
Yeah, exactly. Like how it just everything started to like grow, and also like we have a lot of stories from when we started to play Dota, like from like DreamHack when we were playing in the first tournament and the first prize was $800 for the whole team together, and you were super happy when you actually won the tournament, like wow, I could actually pay for the ticket here and the like DreamHack ticket. But now, even though like if you were playing a tournament where it's $5,000 in prize pool, you'll be like no, that's
but why isn't it? Is that because people are spoiled? So why is it? Is it just it needs to keep growing to keep people interested?
But I don't know. I don't think like that people are spoiled. It's like more like the standard has gotten to like the standard of the prize pool and stuff is actually gotten to a point where it's okay. Like it's not okay to go playing a tournament to win like $100 and be happy with it. Yeah. But like back then, it was everything we knew. Yeah. So of course we were gonna be happy with it. But I really think it's good that people are saying no to like stuff that aren't right. But it's just fun, like how everything has been developing from like 10 years ago or 8 years ago.
So the book is work in progress. When do you plan to release it? When you finish playing, or just whenever?
That's what I mean. Like I just started to write some, and I have some ideas, but it's not nearly finished or anything. So that's like, I don't know. It's just fun to work on something, and then hopefully I might finish it when I have time. But it's just very hard to do something like very like serious and finish it like when you are playing, because it's like even hard to find time to clean the apartment, to go shopping, because
if your results are frustrating, does that make it more difficult for you to do other stuff?
Not really. I'm just a bit more sad overall. Like when we're losing games, I'm a bit down, but it's like it's usually fine the like day after. So.
What about the other members of your team? Is there any player that particularly finds it more difficult to deal with losses, or are you all like collectively okay?
I'd say after the MLG tournament 2 weeks ago, I was very happy that because we finished second. Yeah. So I didn't really care so much that we lost in the finals, even though it was close and I would have rather won. But then Loda and Pycat were the most sad, I guess, because they really hated to lose. But I mean, they were happy after a couple of hours as well. It's just that they were a bit down right after the game.
What did Pycat say? He said, you don't win a silver, you lose a gold.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, as I said, I was super happy by finishing second because, like, first of all, we have never been in a haven't been in a final since DreamHack Summer last year.
Yeah.
We've been like finishing last or maybe a 5th place or something. It's like, it's not so good. And now we were actually in the finals and very close to getting the gold. So sure, it's like sucks that we didn't get it, but
You're fine.
yeah.
I'm very happy you're doing the book and all this stuff because we were in the same organization in Dota 1, which is obviously very different. I remember when it was ESWC Paris 2007, right? 8. And they had Dota 1 on the screen. I was like, this game's never going to be popular. It's like farming for 30 minutes. The game's now very quick. You've maybe watched some games. Do you think the quick games is more appealing?
I guess people have been complaining like over the years that the games are too long and too boring. So I do think that IceFrog and Valve has been doing a good job to steer in the game in the right direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the majors are good. You've got a book coming out. Everything's fine. Alliance, Bulldog said, don't worry. So is there any last words you want to say to your fans?
Oh, I'm just very happy that you've been sticking together with us. I'm very happy that you keep on supporting us, and we'll do our best to be able to prove that we are one of the best teams out there.
Okay, thank you very much.